One of my favorite shows of the week. Let's do it. Picking winners. We're going to pick winners. All right. We've got all the bets. If you watch the DK main slate, we're just going to talk about betting those games. And then for the NFL, of course. And then I was like, guys, give me 5 games from college football. I think we got 6 or 7 now. We have 5 games head-to-head ranked teams this week, JBC. I think six games where both teams are ranked, and then we got Florida State, Clemson. So a lot of good college action, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is a huge week for college football, so we had to spend a little extra time on it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. For those of you that wanted to talk about JBC's hair, too bad. We did it last night. He did not lose a bet. Sometimes you just got to shave your head, dude, and that's about it. So I think he looks great. Joker from Full Metal Jacket. You can say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Before we get going, though, these are 2 gentlemen without kids. And Stats might have some kids. You just don't know where they are. Same here, though. Same here.
You never know.
You never know. You probably do because they come and get child support from you. But why do ducks have tail feathers, guys? Why do ducks have tail feathers? To hide their butt quacks. You like it? Yeah, stats. You're holding it back, JVC. You want to laugh. You want to laugh, but you're not going to do it. Stats like laugh. It. Oh, I got a smile out of him.
You can do better.
No, I can't. That's the best joke I know. I mean, come on.
You told that to the kids, huh?
Oh,
kids
yeah.
This guy's saying this. I just didn't tell my wife I had shaved my own head until she got home and saw it.
What'd she do?
Nothing.
She was fine with it, right?
She was like, you didn't look great before either. So
you can oil that thing up, dude. You can oil that thing up. That's what you should have told her. I'm going to get it all crazy up there. Richie Smalls has a good idea. Hit the like button. Helps us with an algorithm. If you have not followed Rump Your Sports or Rump Your Bets on the YouTube channel, by all means, please do so. That would be absolutely fabulous. Guys, I just want to say last night I did Showdown Kings. I hopped in the show with both JBC and Stats, and it was a very good night. I had my best showdown week of the year. I know it's only 3 weeks, but last night that core was absolute fire. Had I listened to you guys and thrown some Bell in there, I probably would have chopped that Millie too, but I didn't. I had the 5 lineups and I didn't get Bell in there, but great work last night, gentlemen. JBC, you kicked ass on that.
You were too attached to Ray McLeod, man.
Stupid.
I think you had it in your head.
Stupid.
You get run and you didn't.
No, I wanted to get out of there 15 minutes early and you wouldn't let me. If I did that, I would have had some Bell in there, but that's okay. No big deal. Stats, that was an interesting game. As you said before the show started, it really wasn't a blowout for most of the game, but it didn't seem like the Giants had any shot.
Yeah, I mean, it was like if you bet the Giants, you just kept feeling like you were in it, but you didn't feel like you were in it. Even they were within 1 score, and you're like, they were trying to make it a game in the broadcast. They're like, the Giants are in this, but you never felt like they had a chance to ever win that game. And the cover was in doubt, but you never felt like they were good enough offensively to really compete and win the game. So, you said that they might have been, one of you guys said last night, it might have been that it seemed odd that maybe they were resting guys confident they were going to win. I think maybe JBC said that. And I think maybe they knew they were the dominant team and they didn't mind resting Ayuk and guys that were a little banged up.
Well, we were on the under. If you were on the under last night, you probably wet your pants a couple of times, but like this last 6 or 7 minutes, there was no scoring. We had 43.5 to the under. We discussed the bet and it ended 30-12. So the unders, listen, we've had good times with the unders. We'll see if we have any unders in the NFL today. Again, hit the like button. Let's get this show going. We are going to get through the whole NFL slate. And we're going to start with Denver, Miami, guys. And this is a Denver team that's desperate, JBC. They are 0-2. You fall to 0-3, you're not going to the playoffs, especially when you got 2 more games against the Chiefs and you haven't beat the Raiders for 7 straight games. Total here is 47.5, 48. Spread, Dolphins -6.5. You can get both these numbers at -10 at most shops. So Broncos, Dolphins, JBC. You like the total here? Do you like a side? Because again, Broncos play close games. They seem to lose those games, but they are desperate.
What surprised me really about the Broncos last week, I mean, partially was Russell Wilson played extremely well. He had 30 points on DraftKings, but their defense just fell apart, and the Commanders aren't exactly a high-powered offense. And I'm not like a huge believer in the Dolphins, so I kind of like this game to go over.
Ooh, okay. We got a little over early in the show stats. This is a Miami offense that's humming. We don't know if Jalen Waddle is going to play. He's in concussion protocol, but he at least was out there for practice. So that's a good sign there. On the Denver side, I mean, I don't see too much going on. It'll be Jerry Jeudy's second game back. Defensively, they have been a train wreck. This is a team with a great defense over the last few years. They're a mess, absolute mess right now. Stats. You like the total or the side?
Yeah, they certainly do look terrible. Blowing that game last week was just atrocious. And then Miami looked pretty good on Sunday night against New England. Defensively, I mean, they look legit. But again, you're playing the New England offense with Mac Jones. I don't know how much weight we can put in there. And then offensively, Belichick, he does what he does. He kind of kept Hill in check, but they weren't able to stay. Couldn't stop Mostert. So the offense looks like they're pretty good. With all that said, if I had a lean in this game, I don't like any bets in this game, but if I had a lean, I would actually lean to the other side. I'm leaning towards the under, shockingly. The line seems to have come, the total, it's come down a little bit from where it was. And I would actually take the point. If it went to 7, I'd feel a lot better about it. So I would kind of take the dog and the points. Although I will not actually bet real money on Denver. I just can't bet the game. But if it was an office pool or something like that, I would lean that way. But I can't put money on this Denver team right now.
JBC, what do you think? And it's stats, you too. Thoughts on teasers here? 6.5. You're going through the 7. You're going through 10 and 11. No, not a chance. Not in the mix.
No.
Okay. Let's move on then. Our next game is Buffalo at Washington. The Commanders have played the Broncos and they have played the Cardinals, and they've beaten both teams. The Bills looked like, Josh Allen looked like garbage in week 1. They came back and won in week 2. So the Bills on the road, 6 to 6.5 point favorites. It's a lower total here. I'm seeing a 42.5 at Caesars. I'm seeing a 43.5 at DK Stats. I'll start with you on this one. Bills at the Commanders. Do the Bills come in here and roll?
Yeah, I don't think they roll. So I think I think we see this as a little bit closer a game than maybe a lot of people think. I think the public is certainly on Buffalo. So the money's all coming in. Tickets are coming in on Buffalo. Money's coming in on Buffalo. I think Washington's going to be able to hang a little tighter in this game. I don't know if they win it, but I do think they give Buffalo some problems. I like it to be a little tighter, 3-point game either way, impossible money line on Washington.
Ooh, see, is this a play? Is this
It's not one of my favorite plays, but for the show, that's the way I'm leaning. I have a couple of plays that I really like this week. This isn't one of my favorites, but I do like it. I do like the Washington side better than Buffalo here.
Hey, JBC, real quick, you talked to how'd their horses do yesterday? Had Tony and their guys' horses do you know?
It was leading coming to the final stretch and then ran out of gas. I think they ran it a little too long of a race than they should have. Like, it was running a full mile, and I think they maybe should have done a little shorter race.
So they had no idea what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing. The horse just didn't have.
Is that what you're saying? He ran out of gas. Come on, you got to hire Baffert, guys.
That's what I was saying.
Did he place or show? Did he get top?
All the way back to 6th.
Oh God,
that's
Tony,
it's a good angle though for the next trip though.
Yeah.
Next time out, that's usually a good angle if they bring him back to like 7 furlongs or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So sometimes you get a good price after you do that.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So JBC, we were talking about the Bills and the Commanders in Landover, Maryland, which, by the way, if you're a Washington fan, they're moving back into DC. Thank God. That place in Landover is the worst place ever. Impossible to get to. Traffic's the worst. Stadium's the worst. Bury Dan Snyder's memory in there and get back into DC. What do you got on this game? You like the side of the total?
Yeah, I'm against John here. I like the Bills. I think the Commanders, they're 2-0 and they should be 0-2. So I think the market has heavily overvalued them, and the Bills are still getting a little residual hate from that first week, but the Commanders just I don't see them stopping them the same way that the Jets did.
All right, guys, I got a bet in the next game. Colts at the Ravens. Total here is 44. 8.5 point favorites for the Ravens. We are getting wins, a little bit of rain there. I'm not too concerned because there are some games with weather this week, guys. Let me pull up my old notes. Baltimore rain, 15-mile-an-hour winds, 20-mile-an-hour gusts. Doesn't scare me off too much. Green Bay, 20-mile-an-hour gusts. Meadowlands, 30-mile-an-hour gusts and winds. So that's kind of nasty. You look at the Ravens here. Center's out, left tackle's out, Justice Hill, OBJ out, and I'm still not worried about it. And I looked at the Ravens' last 5 home games. So we're going back to last year. They've given up 1 touchdown in their last 5 home games. They faced Gardner Minshew this week. My bet here is Colts team total under 17.5. I don't see him scoring 2 touchdowns. I just don't see it. So let's talk about this. The side, the total again, JBC 8.5. Baltimore favored 44 the total.
I like the Ravens too. The Colts just have, even after what happened last week, I just don't see anything to really write home about. The Ravens have looked great. This is the exact type of game that the Ravens typically win by like 40. So, and also, especially, it's definitely teaser fodder. So every teaser you got, throw the Ravens in there. They're going to kill them.
Tease them to 14. Tease them to 2, I should say. That's where we're teasing them down. Stats. You got to play in this game. Indy at Baltimore.
Yeah, JBC stole my thunder. I was going to say the same exact thing. These are the type of games that Baltimore seems to just kind of win 30-10. Like they just kind of roll in these games. I would have liked them. I would have liked the Colts a lot better with Richardson in there than Minshew. And I've been getting messages like as far as from survivor pools, like, oh, does this change your thinking? Without Richardson, it really hasn't changed the line all that much. So I don't think you're getting a big line move one way or the other. So my thing is when you have injury, especially at the quarterback position, that's typically where you can actually get an advantage over the market if you are correct in what the line move should be. So I actually would have moved this line slightly in Baltimore's favor after the injury, right? So, and they didn't move this line. So I think we're getting a little bit of value on the Baltimore side. So I like Baltimore as well in this one.
So is that a play? Well, you guys got to play, say official play. Yeah, that's an official play, JBC.
Yeah, I like the Ravens.
It's not a big play for me. I'm gonna jump on it just because JBC likes it and I liked it too. So now it'll become a play for me.
All right. And again, I'm rolling with the Colts team total under 17.5. I might get in a same game parlay, maybe Ravens -3, and we throw the Colts total to 21. Again, I don't have the number on that right now, but that's something I kind of like doing. Andrew Black, won't it be pouring for the Baltimore game? Yeah, here's the deal. And I've looked at it, different models. The rain ends by 2:00 out there. The rain ends before the game, maybe halftime. Rain doesn't bother me unless it's a deluge, and the numbers back it up. The main thing we're looking for is winds that are above 15 mile an hour, usually 20 miles an hour if they're consistent. And I think Green Bay is a place where we're going to see a lot of that. We'll see a little bit in Baltimore. I'm not worried about it, but the Jets game is going to be a freaking mess. An absolute mess. So that's the game we're worried about. Andrew, again, unless it's a deluge, rain really doesn't matter. Snow, massive. If we have snow, like accumulation on the ground, massive bump to the offense because the defense has to react and the numbers back that up. Okay, let's get into our next game, which is going to be Houston and Jacksonville. Okay, on paper, looks like pretty nasty. But 8-point favorites for the Jaguars in a divisional game. Total here is 44.5. So stats, I'm going to you first on this game. On paper, just looks like the Jags should steamroll them, but their offense has kind of been stuck the first 2 weeks.
Their offense hasn't looked that good. And then, you're starting to see signs of the Houston offense really putting something together. I know they got beat up a little bit last week, but offensively, especially from a fantasy standpoint, this is becoming a little bit of a story in Houston. You got a couple of wide receivers there now that are playable from a fantasy standpoint. I think this is going to be a tricky spot for Jacksonville. I talk about Survivor a lot because I do a lot of Survivor content, and this is one of those. There's like the big four. One of them won last night. There's 3 more big favorites this week. This was the one that you kind of had the feeling may have the most potential to lose, and they're going to be heavily taken in these pools just because of the way it kind of works out with who everyone plays next week. These big favorites. San Francisco gets Arizona next week, and Dallas gets the Rams. But yeah, I would kind of lean towards Houston on this game. Again, not a bet for me. I would lean towards Houston though to be able to keep this one close. And the line is kind of moving in that direction as well. They tried to get to the 10, it didn't happen, and now we're getting closer down towards the 7. So if I'm following the line move correctly here, I think Houston would be the play.
Okay, I just want to throw a couple props out there. I know player props are big. I love them. Nico Collins has emerged as the number 1 wide receiver there. I'm seeing 50.5. It's minus 30, but minus 25 at PointsBet, 50.5 to the over there. And I've been on under so much this season. Tank Dell is 36.5. Dell really exploded last week, JBC. So again, if they're in a trailing script, if you think it's going to be a trailing script, then these 2 wide receivers are definitely in play. Tank Dell emerged as the number 2 option. But again, there's a side in the total here. Any thoughts on Houston, Jacksonville?
I'm on the same side as John. I like Houston. I think they'll be able to keep it close. What Jacksonville did last week against the Chiefs was just, I don't know how the hell that happened, but they look terrible. And Houston showed me something in the second half. Like John said, throwing the ball down the field, they look like they can move it. And I see it staying close. Possible money line action on Houston.
Divisional game too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something else we got to look at, right? Divisional game. These 2 teams know each other. Houston, I saw a Houston plus 10, by the way, earlier in the week. So this thing, I'm looking at on a beta right now. I don't see where there was a 10, but I know there was a 10 earlier in the week. So this thing really is moving. No doubt about it. Next game that we got on the docket. And again, we'll get to the college side after we get done with the NFL side. Atlanta, Detroit. I got another bet on this one, and it's going to be to the under, guys. Falcons at the Lions. Totals 46.5. Now, I got this at 3.5. I don't like it as much at 3, but this thing moved 2 days ago. So the total, again, 46 minus 3 for the Lions at home, JBC. I just think I also like points in this. I have not bet an over this season, though. I'm afraid to bet an over, but you got some cool storylines here. Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, it's the 2 top running backs there, right? We've got Jared Goff. Amon-Ra St. Brown should play. He's got a really nice offense. I don't think either one of these defenses has anything to write home about, although the Detroit defense has been good against running backs. On the Atlanta side, I think Desmond Ridder gets going again. Drake London. There could be some points in this game. What do you think of the total and then into the side?
I don't agree on that there will be a lot of points. Okay. You're talking about the 2 defenses not having something to write home about, but Falcons only gave up 225 yards last week. They only gave up 10 points in week 1. Falcons defense looks amazing. I think that what people thought the Lions were going to be coming into the season is what the Falcons actually are. They're the team that is a lot stronger than people thought they were going to be. I think they went on the money line.
Ooh, okay. So that's official play?
Yeah, I'm betting on the Falcons is my number 1 play this week.
Yep, and I'm taking the 3.5. So, all right, we're on the same side. Maybe I can get in live on that one and get some more points with the Falcons. But we saw what happened last week against Seattle too. Detroit didn't put them away by any means. They had that great win on Sunday Night Football. I still think they're overvalued, by the way. Stats, what do you think of the Falcons and the Lions?
Love Atlanta this week. Yeah, I love the 3.5. You see, the line move is going in line with that. I mean, this started up much higher. It's coming down. I think if you don't get the 3.5, you might not be able to get it. If you can't find the hook, it might be your last opportunity to get it. I agree with everything JBC said. That defense, I think the defense is really solid. So now you've got a really strong defense with a running back. If you've watched them play, I know you have. I know both of you guys have watched them play. He's one of the few that maybe 2 or 3 running backs that do make a difference. I think he's going to be that kind of a running back, and they need it because I don't love the quarterback situation there. So I think they're going to be able to run the ball. When you look at Atlanta, like Atlanta against the running back, they've been very, very good this year on from a fantasy standpoint. So I think we'll see. And Detroit has just been atrocious across the board defensively. I think they're going to be able to pound the ball, control the game, and win the game outright as well. So I like Atlanta in this one.
Hit us up if you got any questions, any plays. We could talk about those too. Subscribers, live show chat, we'll absolutely get to it. For those of you that are not members from Run Pure Sports, Run Pure Bet side, the cool part is we got a Discord. If you don't know what Discord, it's kind of like Slack. You can ask these guys questions at any time. I mean, JBC is literally in there 20 hours a day. I think, what do you get, 4 hours of sleep? Stats is in there posting stuff. We've got just so much. And on the DFS side, all our guys are in there. Big T, JSU. And I'm just looking at the different channels that we have right now. There's obviously the coordinators chat where a bunch of jabronis wish each other happy birthday. It's completely stupid. NFL, baseball, golf, NASCAR. We got a horse racing channel now. Are you kidding me? And then the bet side, we got premium plays you can pay for, the picks. Again, the Discord's amazing. You can talk to our analysts just about any time. You tag them in Discord, and they're going to hang out with you. Okay, you know what? Good point here. Udoka is probably looking for revenge because he goes from Detroit to the Falcons, and this will be his first game of the season. Sharp call there. Titans Browns is our next one. 3-3 and a hook is the spread in Cleveland with the Browns favored. Titans, wow, we got a low total, 39.5. Big story from this one, JBC, is that Kareem Hunt signed. I still think Jerome Ford gets the yeoman's amount of work. He's going to get a ton of carries in this one. Kareem Hunt's down 10 pounds from where he was last year. That being said, the Titans' run defense has been pretty nasty so far. 39.5 total. Browns 3.5 point favorites. Any plays here?
The problem is I love both of these teams, and I've bet on both of them the first 2 weeks, and Tennessee covered both games. The Browns, they gave up 2 defensive touchdowns and were still right there at the end with a chance to win. I like Cleveland here. This is going to be a refrain the whole season. The Browns are a lot better than they've looked. They looked great week 1. They're a lot better than they looked last week. Defensive and special teams touchdowns are kind of arbitrary. Can't really put too much thought into it. Steelers couldn't move the ball on offense. I think the Browns win this one by a substantial amount.
Really? Where are you on this game, Stats?
I'm on the other side. And I was a Cleveland guy coming into the year too. I'm still not getting off them, but Tennessee is one of those teams that they just, you can never figure out how they got to where they got every year. They make their way into the playoffs. They get the number 1 seed a couple of years ago. It's like, and you're like, you don't see it. Tannehill's not out there putting up monster numbers. They could always run the ball well. But that defense against the run has been fantastic. Now this will be 3 weeks in a row. They're getting the big value running back in DFS up against them. And they stopped the first 2, and we'll see what they do this week. But I think they're going to be able to stop the running game as well. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little bit more concerned with Watson than probably JBC is. I like the 3.5. The line has been moving down towards the in favor of Tennessee here, and I'm going to take the points. This is actually a bet that I took earlier this week at 3.5, so I do like the Titans.
Do you think that Deshaun Watson gets massages from the team masseuse? Do you think the team masseuse is a little uncomfortable with that?
I would imagine that he has a male doing his massages now.
That's it. He's like, he cut it off. No more ladies doing my massages, just men.
Yes.
All right. It's a good question. Somebody should ask him that at the game. Like, hey, dude, does your team masseuse give you a real massage? All right, we'll just move on. Look at JBC. He's like, it's time to move on to the next game, dude. Come on.
No, wait till we start talking about the Chicago defensive coordinator.
No, we will not yet. Trust me, we're going to get to those 4:00 games, buddy. Simmer down now. We got a lot to talk about with the Bears, but first we got the Saints at the Packers. Okay, so Jamal Williams just ruled out. We got Kendre Miller making his debut. For those of you at DFS, Tony Jones, Kendre Miller. Interesting backfield there. As far as the total, I'm seeing 42.5, and I want to remind you, this is the win game. This is 20-mile-an-hour winds. So if there is a game besides for the one in the Meadowlands, this one's a little concerning. I see there was a 2.5. It got bet down to 1.5 as the week went on. Stats 42.5 total. Any side or total plays here? New Orleans at Green Bay.
I think this might be my biggest game of no opinion possible. I have no opinion on this one. Yeah, I mean, I don't like either side. I don't like the total. You mentioned the win, but they really hasn't affected the line all that much on the total either. So I don't know. I'm up in the air. I don't know what to make of either one of these two teams right now. I mean, Green Bay has shown some good signs. I think the New Orleans defense has played well also. So I don't know. I don't know which way this one's going to go. I'm hoping maybe you guys have a little bit clearer idea.
What about you there, JBC?
I think this kind of goes hand in hand with the Falcons in that everybody thought the NFC South was just going to be fucking terrible, and now 3 of the teams are 2-0. The Saints defense has played incredible. I don't see how the Packers are going to move the ball at all. And the Saints, Derek Carr is a lot better than Jordan Love. I think the Saints win this game.
I've got no play in this game, Stats. I completely stayed away from it. If anything, I guess the under, but I don't want to mess with it. That'll be a complete fade for me. Next game is going to be New England at the Jets. Again, rain, wind, 30-mile-an-hour gusts. So I could understand if someone wanted to bet the under on the total. 36 is the total now. That is a severely low total. I saw it at 39 on Monday at a couple of books, and then everybody saw the weather, and then they realized Zach Wilson was quarterback, and that's where we are. Patriots, -2.5 on the road. JBC, I lean toward the Jets here. I think defensively, people just forgot how good they were. This Dallas offense is an absolute machine. Running, defense for the Jets, nasty weather. I could see the under. I do lean toward the Jets and the points, though. Talk to me here, JBC.
I'm the other way. In any kind of schmozzy game like this where the wind is fucked up, the rain's fucked up, whatever's going on, you kind of want the quarterback that you trust more not to fuck up. And I definitely do not trust Zach Wilson not to fuck this game. And so I'm big lean to the Patriots.
Big lean to and it could be a play. Could be a big play. We're just not there yet. Stats, Patriots, Jets, total, 36 total, man.
Yeah, I'm the other side here. I like the Jets as a play. I just that defense, the best unit on the field is going to be the Jet defense. And I mean, if you watch Mac Jones, the Miami defense, we'll see how they are. They're certainly not the caliber of the Jet defense, and Mac Jones look terrible. I mean, we've seen enough of Mac Jones already to know. So I think they're going to give him fits in this game, and I think they win the turnover battle. The Jets are going to play ultra conservative. I mean, Patriots are going to try to play conservative as well, but I don't think either team moves the ball all that well in the game. I think the Jets just win it. They'll find a way on defense to get some good field position, maybe score, and that's how this game ends. I like the Jets to win this game outright.
Stats, what do you think about teasing the Ravens down to 2.5, Jets up to 8.5?
Yeah, the Jet teaser up to 8.5. That's the old Wong teaser. That's certainly the way you want to go with it. Jet, if you're going to tease the game, that's the only way you could play it.
JBC, would you go there? No.
Yeah, even liking the Patriots, like statistically, you can take those Wongs blind and just go. So yeah.
All right, very good. Let's keep rolling. We're getting to the 4:00 games here. This is the DFS special, guys. The Chargers visiting the Vikings, and it doesn't look like Austin Eckler is going to play again this week. The Minnesota offense, big time, no defense. Chargers offense, big time, no defense. Although I'd still like to see Justin Herbert push the ball down the field. JBC, we've got a 54 total and a 1-point favorite with the Vikings at home. Vikings last year, best team ever in 1-point games and close games, 3 points and less. The Chargers lose every game, it seems like, 3 points or less. You like the tie? You like the total? You like the side?
I like the Vikings just because I think these teams are very evenly matched, and the Vikings are at home, so you're getting a discount, getting only -1. this game might be 40-40. Like it's going to be
Yeah.
back and forth and back and forth. There's just there's such a large degree of variance there, but I definitely lean toward Minnesota over the Chargers.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's gonna be Cousins, Jefferson, Allen, Williams in your core. Is it possible that those 4 guys are in your core?
It's possible.
It's possible.
On a 54 total, I say anything's possible.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you're not signed up to Run Pure Sports, we're doing bet side here, but the DFS side has been rolling. JBC Stats helped me win some money in Showdown last night, and it's always fun telling these guys cores. If you do play DFS, Big T throws his out there, JSU, AP, JBC Stats, all these guys, they give you the best plays in their lineup, their main lineup. All you got to do is fill in 3. It's not an easy thing to do, but more than often it works out. Stats, any thought on a 54 total and a 1-point favorite with the Vikings at home?
Well, quick from the DFS standpoint, the guy you didn't mention, I think, who was the disappointment last week, bounces back this week for a big week is Kelly. That's the guy. So, I mean, Minnesota's not going to be able to stop. They don't stop the run. And we just talked about Tennessee. Tough place for running backs. So I think this is a guy maybe people will overlook a little bit this week. So be on the lookout for Kelly in DFS. Betting wise, yeah, I would, when I say lean, very small lean here to the Minnesota side, I'm going to agree with JBC. And I think it's tough to take this game to the under. I just can't see it. I mean, I hate both of these teams, quite honestly. I think the Chargers are an underachieving team. I thought Minnesota was going to be terrible this year. They haven't disappointed me really on my under. I've got them under the number. We talk about it all the time. Like last year, they won every close game last year, and it's not going to happen 2 years in a row. So I expect them to lose more. I'm just going with the home field. I mean, it's a very slight lean. I'll take them at home against the Chargers, but no conviction behind it. If anything, I'd say the over is a little bit stronger than that, but betting wise is a tough one for me.
We got the viral videos. He made 10K last night. What do you guys think he did? Is he a gigolo? Did he bet? Did he play Somebody tell me how he made 10K. How did he make 10K? DFS? Telling you guys?
Yeah.
That sounded like a Millie chop. That was the Millie chop.
Is that what that was? All right, let us know, viral videos. I am interested in seeing how you won the 10K last night. And when you post it up there, we'll definitely post it up on our page here.
DFS. He said DFS.
Okay, good job, viral video. All right. A little disappointed it was DFS, but this is what happens when you tell these guys you win some money. Tied for first. Hey, chopped it. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. As we talked about last night, ain't no shame in chopping, especially when you do it multiple times a year. Carolina, Seattle is our next game, gentleman. And it is a 5.5-point spread. Seattle is favored at home, 42.5 stats. I'm going to go to you first here. Seattle, the offense has been humming. Carolina on the other side. We got Andy Dalton this week? Woo, the red rifle. So 5.5 points. Where was this number? So 6.5. Now we're down to 5.5 with Andy Dalton as the starting quarterback. What's going on?
I mean, it's for this particular game, it's an improvement for Carolina. Obviously, your future is going to be Bryce Young, but at this point in his career, you're going to be a little bit better off with Andy Dalton. I mean, that's just the way it is. But if you're a Carolina fan, of course, you don't want to see Andy Dalton out there. You need Young to progress. I mean, that's what it's going to be for them this year. JBC was going crazy last week with the fact that they're just not letting Young. They weren't letting Young run. He's like, look, Young runs, the offense moves. And it just doesn't seem like they're using him in that fashion. I would have a lean here on Carolina still. I like it with the points. Seattle, we've been bearish on Seattle all year. We've been kind of fading them all year. No reason to stop doing that now. So I'll take the points on this game. I feel actually better about it with Dalton than I do with Young. So I'll take the 5.5 as a lean.
Official play here, JBC, or a fade?
I bet on the Panthers. As John said, they're better off with Dalton at this stage in Bryce Young's career. The Panthers defense has played very well. They played really well last week against the Saints. They were pretty good in week 1 against the Falcons. I see them being able to keep the scoring a little depressed, maybe a little look at the under. and to keep the game close enough, possibly win it at the end with Dalton not making very many mistakes.
All right, next game, and we got 2 left. We'll get to your Bears here in just a minute, JBC. But we do have a whole bunch of college bets that we're going to get to. And for those of you waiting for that, Colorado taking on Oregon. We'll start with that one. We got UCLA, Utah, Ole Miss, Alabama, Oregon State, Washington State, Iowa, Penn State, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and FSU. Florida State taking on Clemson, as they call it out there. But JBC, we'll get back to the NFL. Dallas has been steamrolling mofos so far. They are taking on Arizona on the road. But don't forget, these are home games for the Cowboys. There are so many more Cowboys fans in Phoenix, it seems like. They just packed that place. So Cowboys, 12.5, 13-point favorites in Arizona. 43 is the total. I got to go look at the Cowboys team total. Arizona defense has been fine, but boy, these Cowboys have been rolling, man.
Pass.
Oh, total pass.
It's just 13 is so many, but
It is.
Dallas has just looked so good in Arizona last week. The second half showed you what they can do as far as sucking shit. And I've just got no interest in betting this game.
Stats.
JBC passing on like a 13-point spread and me sort of passing on a 13-point spread is actually a lean towards the Dallas side. It's like we don't want to lay 13, but the whole reason we're tentative on it is because we kind of feel like Dallas is probably good. I'm reading it. I know I'm
That's
long
100% correct.
and that's how I feel about this game. I mean, I can't take the Arizona side here. The Dallas, I mean, tough injury for Dallas. I don't know if it really is going to affect them in this game, but that's a tough injury that they took last week. This defense, I think, was on a mission, and they had the first 3 weeks here was a good place to start from. And next week we'll see, but good first 3 weeks for this defense to really showcase what they can do. I think they shut Arizona down pretty much. It's just a matter of this offense, which you got to give credit to McCarthy on the offensive side. I hate McCarthy, hate him as a head coach, but maybe he was right here. Maybe taking over the play calling, running the ball more. I mean, this looks like a Pollard type of game for sure. And I think that's the side that you have to look at from DFS. It won't be a big offensive passing game at all on either side of the ball. Certainly not Arizona's side. But I just think Dallas runs the ball down their throat. And that's the only way this game stays within 13 is if they just know that, Arizona's not moving the ball on them, can't move the ball, and they play really conservative Dallas. And they just don't put up a ton of points. And somehow Arizona, gets like 10 on the board and keeps it within 13.
Mr. Ray is betting an alt line of Cowboys minus 23.5. So, Mr. Ray, let me know what number you get that at. 27.5 is the Cowboys team total. Minus 120, 28.5 is even money. I'm not touching that. And I always love a good Tony Pollard anytime rushing touchdown, but he's minus 240. I mean, it's just unbettable. This game's unbettable right now. I mean, maybe Arizona gets a 21-0 lead and we can back the Cowboys, but that'd be about it. Yeah. All right. Here's the JBC special. Chicago at Kansas City. It has been a complete shit show at Hallis Hall. The total here is 48, 12.5-point dogs for the Bears on the road in Arrowhead. So what do we have here? We have the defensive coordinator leaving the job for personal reasons.
Personal reasons.
Personal reasons. We had what do we have? The stupid rumor that people actually ran with where the FBI was doing stuff.
No, that's a true rumor.
That's not a true rumor.
Oh, it is.
What? You guys got to fill me in because I don't pay attention to it.
Bears defensive coordinator is being investigated for like being a pedophile or some shit.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
That's why he resigned.
Well, I knew something had to happen. I saw the headline that he resigned. No one resigns in the middle of the year at a coordinator position. So I knew something had to happen.
I don't know. I'm not buying this, dude.
Bruce has not addressed the team about it.
I'm not buying this. I'm not doing it. I'm not buying this whole.
Let's put it this way. Let's hope it's not true because that means there's less victims out there for sure.
Just say allegedly. Let's just say allegedly.
Allegedly.
And then Eberflus took a full day to talk to his team, so they all learned about it in the news. Then on top of that, you got Justin Fields throwing his coach under the bus.
Because he knows he's about to get fired for being a pedo.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
By JBC, allegedly.
We're behind the paywall, so.
No, we're not. We're not.
Oh, well then.
Yeah.
Now you're open up.
I'm not buying this.
Structure.
Yeah. So, and then the last thing is Fields is throwing his coach under the bus. Then they have this photo op out on the field where they're hugging each other. Oh, and the Bears are getting their asses kicked, JBC. Like, is this the week the Chiefs come out and lay the hammer? Because there's not many teams I would back at 12.5. I'm not doing it yet. I want to get you guys' opinion. What do you got here?
The thing is, I like Chicago, but they have so much shit going on that I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's but from a purely number standpoint, the Bears are not as bad as they played, and that's a massive number. The Bears are not the Cardinals, referring to the last game, and the Chiefs defense certainly is not the Cowboys defense. I like the Bears with the points, even with all this shit happening.
Woo! What do you got, Statsational?
Give me the Bears as well. I like this one. I try not to pay too much attention to the off the field nonsense. I don't think it matters all that much. This is a pretty big one. I saw the headline, knew something was up, but I didn't want to waste time reading all the articles on it. But
it's not a waste of time. It's not a waste of time.
Now I'm going to have to. But I like the Bears. Like you said, from a number standpoint, I like the Bears. Something's not right with this Chiefs team, this Chiefs offense, and so I think this is too big of a number for them right now. They've just got to let Fields do what he can do. I mean, they're not running. They're not letting him run the ball right now. He's got to run the ball. If he runs the ball, they stay in this game for sure. And so I'm going with the fact that they're gonna. He's just not there as a passer where you cannot let him use the skills that he has. And I think they'll do it in this game. I think they'll keep the game a lot closer than this number says.
You know how you said there's something wrong with the Chiefs defense? I thought you were about to say there's something wrong with the Bears defensive coordinator, because there definitely is.
I think the Chiefs.
I would assume there is. Yeah.
Chiefs defense has been admirable early in the season.
They've played well. But it's hard to know. My question is, do the Jaguars suck, or is the Chiefs defense good?
I think they're better than they have been in the past. And I'll just say that because the first 8 or 9 games the last couple of years, their defense has been a sieve. And they shut down Jacksonville last week. Chiefs will do okay for DFS. Nagy will probably want to run up the score. He probably will. No question about that. And then the other thing to mention about Fields is I talked about this. 4 design runs in 2 games. He should have 5 to 6 design runs a game. And then he scrambles.
Every play.
Absolutely stupid. All right, we're done with the NFL side. You want to post some plays here in the YouTube chat, we'll be happy to do so. And as far as our subscribers go, live show chat, you got questions, you got comments, we'll try and help you out on that side as well. But again, like button would be wonderful. Check out our sites, runpuresports.com, runpurebets.com. And these guys love the college football. Colorado, my Buffs right here. I mean, they're bigger than the Broncos right now for the first time ever. 19th ranked Buffaloes visiting 10th ranked Oregon. 70.5 is the total. Big spread here. Ducks 21-point favorites. Both teams are 3-0, but just know Travis Hunter, the two-way stud with the Buffs, is out. Multiple games, lacerated liver, pretty nasty hit there. And he was 3rd in the team in targets, and he was also their best defensive player. Colorado's averaging 41 points per game. They're giving up 30 points per game. So, JBC, I'm looking forward to this breakdown. You love the Buffs, but can you back them at plus 21 points?
No. And we mentioned before the season how Colorado's problem was going to be attrition and how they have no depth on their team, and they would slowly deteriorate as the season went on. And Travis Hunter going out, I mean, that's step one. I like Oregon laying the points here. I don't think that the only way that Colorado can cover this game is if Sanders ends up throwing for 5 or 6 touchdowns, and I just don't see it.
So you see a blowout here. What about the total, 70.5?
Don't really have the lean on the total. If anything, under, just from Colorado not scoring. But Oregon could easily run it up high enough to go over, so I don't like either way.
By the way, last Saturday night, I went to sleep at like 7, and I woke up my time around 11 in the middle of the night. I turned a game on beginning of the 4th quarter, It was one of the most remarkable comebacks you're ever going to see. And for a game that ended at 2:00 Eastern time, 9.3 million people tuned in. Like the hottest team in any football league. Colorado, Buffalo, stats. What do you got in this one?
Did you order your blenders? Did you order the sunglasses yet?
No, I'm not getting. I'm not buying any.
I think they're called blenders. Yeah,
Okay.
Blenders.
they're pretty sweet. Yeah, like $65, man. Get the gold. The gold would look nice on you.
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah,
Well, the gold would look nice on you.
got to get the white.
If they win, Holden's got to come in next week with the
with the white
Prime
hoodie.
21 gold. Prime 21 gold.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet.
I can't do that, guys. I can't pull that off.
Don, you got to do it.
Oh, I might get them.
You know what I always wanted was, remember the Matrix when they had those cool glasses, but they didn't have anything wrapped around. You just put it right there. I always wanted some of those. Those need to come out. All right, Statsational. You got to play.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a huge edge on the defensive line here for Oregon against Colorado. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot tougher. They're not scoring 41 points. Let's put it that way, Colorado in this game. So if I had a lean on this one, maybe even more than a lean, I kind of like this game to go under. What I saw earlier in the week, I saw some sharp money come in on the over, and then the line came down. So the sharps came in 71.5, took it over, and then the line came down even from there. So that's that's screaming at me. I like the under anyway, and then that screams to me under. So I like an under on this game.
Ooh, official play.
Yeah, I'm going to throw that one in there as an official play. I like the under.
Okay. Next game, 22nd ranked UCLA, 11th ranked Utah. Tough place to play. 52.5 total. Utes 5-point favorites. They have 17th in total defense and FBS, giving up 270 yards a game. Utah's run they have won 16 in a row at home. UCLA going to have to win this game on the ground, averaging 270 yards rushing a game. JBC, I'm coming right back at you. Is there a play in this game?
I like UCLA. I think that Utah, Cam Rising's finally coming back to quarterback, tore his ACL at the beginning of January last year. This will be his first game this year. And I think that the line is kind of being priced as if he's just himself and is the same guy he was before the injury, where, first game coming back from a major injury like that, you never really know what's going to happen. And I think UCLA is getting too many points.
Ooh, what do you got here, Stats?
Yeah, JBC nailed that one. This is definitely a play for me, UCLA, for a lot of the same reasons. I like it. I love having the quarterback come back. I think we get value because the quarterback is coming back for Utah in this one. UCLA's offense has been, they've been pretty explosive. Moore's been great, 7 touchdowns, just one pick. A little tougher matchup here for them this week, but I think they have a shot to win this game outright.
Just got some breaking news from the NFL. Austin Eckler, as we thought, is out. Also on the Saints side, they're going to be without 2 starters in their secondary. So that'll be a tough one for them. But we are talking college football right now. Let's keep rolling and hit the like button if you like the show. If you hate the show, thanks for watching and hit the like button anyways. Ole Miss, 15th ranked team in the nation. Alabama, 13? Huh? Bryant-Denny Stadium, 55.5 total. Bama, 6.5-point favorites. I don't know if you guys were following this week, but Lane Kiffin's been talking a lot of shit. He's been talking about a change at defensive coordinators at Alabama. Nick Saban had to come out and say it's not true. Kiffin goes out and posts a Taylor Swift lyric on Twitter saying, "I used to be great, fallen from grace, power went to my head, my castle's crumbling down." Are you shit? Lane Kiffin, I love you. I absolutely love him. He's nuts. Can you imagine that? Just, hey, Nick, boom, take that.
He's probably texting Nick while he's doing it too.
What do we got here, JVC?
I think
Come on, Lane.
The Alabama's played so fucking terrible that I think the line is just a little depressed. Getting them laying under a touchdown at home against anybody it just seems like a gift. I'm going with Alabama.
Stats.
It's
the number.
It's just a lean for me. I like what he said there. It kind of does seem like they're kind of trapping you with that line. I don't know, but now they're going to go with Milroe. I think Milroe is going to be the quarterback, right?
Milroe's the quarterback,
and that's it. And he looked pretty good. They finally made a decision there. Lesser competition. I think that offense is going to start to click for them now. Listen, Lane's going to have he's got 5 trick plays up his sleeve for that, and we'll see how that pans out. I don't think I could really bet this game, but I would definitely lean towards the Alabama side.
Is Lane Kiffin kind of like Nick Saban's petulant little nephew, where he just won't shut up, and he's just annoying, and then he still loves him. He still loves him a little bit, but like Kiffin is just causing this shitstorm there. Like Saban literally had to come out and say that we did not have a change in our defensive coordinator. He's posted Taylor Swift lyrics on Twitter. I love the man. I'm a Lane Kiffin guy.
GOAT. Lane's the GOAT.
Let's go. Well, I wouldn't go that far, pal, but I'm with you. He's pretty good. He's pretty good to follow. Stats, I'll go to you first on our next game. Oregon State, 14th ranked team in the nation at Washington State, 21st ranked team. Love going out to Pullman. Apple season in the fall, 58.5 total. Oregon State, 3-point favorites on the road. Here's an interesting thing. Beavers and Cougars have played 97 times. How many times have teams played when they are both ranked? Yep, that's right, JBC. That's right. Yeah, never happened before. So this will be a momentous moment, and can't wait. We'll remember it forever, Stats. You got to play here?
No play for me on this game. I mean, listen, you got 2 really good transfer quarterbacks going at it. Ward's been great, not turning the ball over, but Oregon State, this is a defense that, the caliber defense that he has not been able to, that he has not faced yet this year. This is tough. I mean, the total's been going a little bit higher. The line's gone a little bit higher. So I would lean towards Oregon State on the game, but I don't have a real strong opinion as far as making a bet. It'll never be a bet for me unless JBC's got something strong for it.
You got something strong for it, JBC?
Yeah, I like Oregon State. I think that Washington State this will be the first and last time they are ranked this year. The competition has not been great. I think that Oregon, honestly, I think they're going to fucking steamroll them. I don't think it stays close at all. And, Washington State will fade off in the sunset, and Oregon State might get in the top 10.
Fucking steamrolling. I mean, that is a confident play. Is that a 10 out of 10 confident meter?
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. Okay. Like button to be great. We'd like that a lot. Let's keep rolling. What is it? 3 more college games to get to? Yep. Next one, Iowa, 24th ranked team against 7th ranked Penn State. 39.5 total. It's a low one. Penn State, 14.5 point favorites. Both teams are 3-0. Penn State leading the Big Ten in time of possession. They got no turnovers this year. Kirk Ferentz had some mean things to say about him last time the 2 sides played. Is this a Penn State route, JBC?
No. I don't think either of these teams are going to score at all. So, I lean under, but I like the Iowa side more than the under. I think we're looking at a 17-7 just rock fight. And, it's too many points for such a low total.
Stats. Is it too many points for such a low total?
It is. I mean, and these type of games, if you like the under or you like the dog, then you have to take the under with it. Or if you like the under, you got to take the dog with it. And it kind of lines up for me because I liked Iowa anyway here. I like the 14.5. This is the only ranked team on Iowa's schedule. So they've got a real shot here to win their side of the Big Ten. The total, now it's very similar in this game to what I saw. I saw the Sharps come in over 40 earlier in the week and then the total come lower.
Yeah.
So that's another bad sign bad sign for the Sharps who got it at 40. But I think it's a good sign for us where this game should be low scoring. And if it's going to be as low scoring as we think it is, I love the 14.5. This is a play for me. Iowa plus 14.5.
Ooh, all right. I like it. So both you guys love some action in this game. I don't want to watch it because it's just going to be ugly.
Don't watch.
So you bet it and just forget it.
The offense, their offense was terrible, Penn State last week. They won the turnover battle 5-0, right? But they didn't move the ball at all. And Iowa has not been turning anybody over. I think we get a little regression here. If that turnover battle is, if they're even in turnovers tomorrow, they're covered. They're not beating them by 14.5.
I'm going to throw a little curveball at you. You probably don't have a play on this. I went to Kansas, and our football team's actually decent for the first time ever. Any thoughts on them laying 9.5 against BYU, 54.5 total? I'm throwing this at you, so you guys might not have even researched it, but I got to know.
I definitely lean that way. The market
Yeah.
is moving away a little bit. It opened 8.5. It's gone up to 9.5. Totals coming down. I don't think BYU is any good this year, especially compared. You know why BYU is not any good this year?
Why?
Let me explain this to you. So you have all these super seniors from the COVID year, who have their 6th or 7th year of eligibility. So they're like 24, 25 years old, like Jordan Travis or Stetson Bennett was last year. Grown-ass men playing. BYU's entire advantage the entire time that they've been at college is that they fielded an entire team of 30-year-old dudes who went on their Mormon mission and are now in college. And that's not an advantage anymore because every team has grown-ass men. So BYU sucks now.
Wow. Look at this. I didn't even tell the guy we were talking about this. He knows about it. Wonderful. Love it. Let's go, Kansas. Get in the top 25. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Number 6 Buckeyes at the number 9 Fighting Irish. 55.5 total JBC. Ohio State, 3.5-point favorites. So you get the hook there. Sam Hartman against that pass defense for Ohio State, which is the best in the nation. Buckeyes D is struggling against the run, though. Do you want to take the points in Notre Dame? Is it a fade? Is it an Ohio State game? What about the total at 55.5?
I think this game ends up higher scoring than people think it is, and that tends to favor Ohio State in my head. They've not played that well this year, Ohio State, at least not as well as I would have expected. And Notre Dame has looked better, but I think there's a talent discrepancy. For as great of recruits as Notre Dame gets, Ohio State, they're stacked. And three, you can get 3 out there in a lot of books. I just don't think it's enough. I like Ohio State.
Stats, you got to play in the Ohio State Notre Dame game?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the over. So I kind of like what JBC was saying there. I think the Ohio State offense is going to continue to get better now that McCord's the starter. Harrison Jr. I don't know how they're going to stop Notre Dame, though. I don't know. I mean, the Estime is running 8.3 yards per carry. You got Hartman, obviously one of the better passers in the league. I think 55.5 is too low on the total. So I kind of like this one to go over, and I'm not going to worry about who wins the game.
Okay. Last game. This will be the JBC special. It's Florida State, 4th-ranked team in the nation against the Clemson program. A lot of people think it's going the wrong direction. 55 total. Knowles -2 on the road. Florida State's rolling. Clemson had that loss to Duke to open the year. We'll see if they bounce. This is a monster game for this program at Clemson, isn't it? How's it going to play out, JBC?
I think that the line is way too short. For as good of a roster as Clemson has, quarterback play has been dog shit. And they're going to have to score to keep up with Florida State. I don't see how they do it.
Okay. Stats, you got any thought on this one?
I mean, I just had to lean on Florida State as well. So not necessarily a play for me, but I do agree. I think they're the better team. I know, not at home. I get it, but I'll take a lean on Florida State. They just basically have to win the game, and I think they do.
All right, guys, before we get out of here, I plugged the sites a ton. RunPureSports.com, RunPureBets.com. JBC's in there grinding soccer. I'm looking at the bets chatters. They're talking about Nice and other places like Liechtenstein Soccer League. There's so much going on in the soccer street, so that's kind of crazy. But we got Statsational here. Stats. You got a lot of different models and stuff like that. Tell me what you're putting up here at Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Then we'll get your best bets and get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, NFL, we got a bunch of stuff. I got stack probabilities that are up for this week. I'm going to be updating them soon, either tonight or early tomorrow morning as projections change, and I'll get the ownerships up there. So, and then we've got the DFS ranking sheet, positional matchup sheet. So I look at each position, how teams are faring against that position, and then how they're doing for that position, above or below the average of the teams that they're playing. So really helpful for DFS. We've got the power rankings, which again, they'll show the rankings, how I have them based on the statistics currently this year, with as of now, still early in the year. So I've got some of last year's stuff and a lot of other stuff. We've got MLB stuff. I'm constantly going to be putting in a lot of tools and stats for the guys in the Discord and on the website to hopefully help you guys take down some big ones.
Love it. We're just killing it in the NFL to start the season. Big fan of this. All right, JBC, give me a bet or two. What is JBC's best bet here on picking winners?
I know Stats is going to say the exact same fucking
That's
two.
fine.
Atlanta and Iowa.
Atlanta and the points, because that's what I'm going 3 and a hook. I was going to give you that one.
Iowa and the points.
So we're all on the Falcons.
Yeah.
All of us. What could go wrong there? Stats, what's your best bet?
I mean, he knows me. So yeah, Iowa for sure. I'm not going to get off the Iowa one. So I'll give you a different one on the NFL side. How about I give you one that we didn't go over? Let's go with Vegas on the night game. So I'll take Vegas over Pitt, and I'll take the points or the money line there, depending on
Vegas,
which one you like better.
Great bet.
I got the under in that game. I already bet it. Bet it at 43.5. I know it was at 44.5. I took 43.5. The under is just, God, the Steelers suck offensively.
They're bad.
They're a mess. They're like, Warren Sharp came out with a great video just eviscerating Canada. Not the country, the offensive. What is it, Matt Canada, the offensive?
Canada.
He's just been a debacle, and everybody thought Kenny Pickett was breaking out. You've got a dink and dunk offense where Josh Jacobs is probably going to run roughshod. They're going to give him the ball. That's the under for me. If we're talking Saturday or Sunday night, I'm going under. My favorite bet would be the Falcons, the under on Sunday night, and then Colts team total under 17.5.
Yep.
Colts team total under 17.5 will be my favorite bet. But I'm lockstep with you guys on the Falcons. So hopefully it'll work out for us. Check it out again, Run Pure Sports, runpurebets.com. JBC, wonderful to see you on back-to-back days. Stats, wonderful to see you 3 times this week. For Stats and JBC, I'm Holden. Keep running pure.